It was like right there.
Can you show me like on this? But this is a lot easier than us like pointing it there. Can you show me what injuries you saw?
It was like a mark on top of her head and a little back here, and then on her arm, like somewhere over there.
Okay.
Friends, in today's episode of Wankers Are Us, we have Matthew Hamrysky. In 2016, he was in a hotel room with 9-month-old Charli Smith. He claims Charli stopped breathing because her 2-year-old sister, Callie, injured her. But of course, he's telling porky pies. Police bring him in for questioning on how this child passed away. The sound at times is a little light because he does talk softly.
So you're watching TV and then what happens?
And then, I was just sitting there, and then I was like, hey, I gotta use the restroom. So I go and use the restroom. The next thing I know, I hear some screaming out in the room. And I'm like, what's going on, So I wipe real quick, go out. Callie's standing over top of her. She had a little pony in her hand. But I know that wasn't the toy she hit her with, because it was way too small,
Mm-hmm.
And she's just standing there, and then she turns around and looks at me, and I'm grabbing, I'm like, move, Callie, get out of the way. What did you do to her? She's screaming, and I'm all sitting there, I get her back to normal in about 5 minutes, and then I'm putting her back into the bassinet. Callie is constantly walking around me the whole time, And I tell her, I'm like, you can't be hitting your sister. You can't be hitting your sister like that. She just kept saying no, like she never did it.
Okay.
And I'm sitting there like, okay, well, whatever. Maybe 10 to 15 minutes went by. I'm sitting there watching Netflix. And then I think to myself, okay, well, I need to check on Charli to make sure she's okay. Wasn't even breathing. So that's at the time. I picked her up and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, she's jello. Like it made me sick to my stomach,
Right.
So I run over, call Ashley, tell her to get your ass here. That's all I knew how to do.
It's important we get specific details, so that's why I want to go back a little bit. You come out of the bathroom, and it kind of give me a visual here of exactly what you see.
Okay, this is Charli on the ground.
Okay.
Callie is me.
Now Charli's on the ground. Yeah. She wasn't in the bassinet.
No, she was just crawling around because we let her crawl around sometimes.
Okay. At what point did you let her out of the bassinet?
Probably the second movie I turned on.
Okay. All right, so she's on the floor.
Yeah, she's crawling around or whatever. And then I saw Callie like this, and then she turns around and put it in her mouth or whatever direction she turned in, she put it in her mouth.
And it was like a little pony?
It was My Little Pony toy thing.
Now, was she on her belly? Was she on her back?
She was on her back.
She was on her back?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you remember what
she was
side?
lying like this, and then after I called Ashley, she started stiffening up and going like this. I have the video, and she's just going like that, and I was like, this is very weird. I'm sitting there thinking she must have got hit hard. So that's when I started yelling at Callie, where'd you hit her in the head? What'd you do with? She's looking at me and she's like, no.
So you come out of the bathroom.
I had no idea what.
Charli's on the floor, right? And on her back.
Yes.
Callie's standing over her.
Yeah.
What side of Charli?
Right in front of her.
Right in front of her.
Yes.
And she's got a toy in her hand.
Yeah.
And you say, oh, you come out. She sees you. She puts the toy in her mouth.
Yeah, and I snatched.
Does she go away or something or?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
she was following me the whole time. I'm like, go away,
okay.
Leave her alone. What'd you hit
Now,
her with?
what exactly did you notice mark-wise when you picked her up?
When I picked her up, it was reddish all around her neck, and like she had little scrapes and stuff, and had a bruise on her forehead, or beginning of a bruise. It was a red mark.
Okay.
And then right here on her head was
right or left side?
The left.
On the left side?
The left side. It was a little
around the temple area?
Yes, it was not a bright red, but it was like a rose red.
Okay. Well, how big, if you had to describe it, how big do you think it was?
Golf ball.
Golf ball? Okay. And clearly, before you went to the bathroom, Charli did not have those.
No, she was fine. She was sitting there playing with her whatever thing she had. She had 2 pieces of paper she was enjoying.
How long were you in the bathroom?
I was in the bathroom maybe 25 minutes. I take long stool.
Have y'all ever had to take her to a doctor after any of these things?
No.
No? Do you think you maybe should have?
I was telling Ashley we need to.
Okay.
Like, I mean, all the bruises on her head. I mean, it was starting to irritate me that it was happening every day.
Right.
You know, and then
especially since November, right?
And then I started, you know, implementing a new thing. If Callie, you know, were to do it, I'd slap her. The cop said that's normal. He said you discipline them when they deserve it.
Right.
And I mean, today I smacked her pretty hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Where did you smack her at?
Like right there.
Right there.
It wasn't, you know, like that. It was
right.
like, ah. It made a pop noise.
Enough to get her attention.
Yeah, I felt bad, but at the same time, I have to teach her some discipline.
When was that? Was that right before you called Ashley, or?
That's when I was freaking out about the toy. When I had Charli in my arm, you know, I'm sitting there like, what's going on here?
Okay.
What did you tell her happened to Charli? I mean, I'm assuming mom asked.
That's happened. What I was saying. I didn't even know. I walked out of the bathroom. Next thing I know, her head, she had marks all over her, and then I set her in the bassinet, and next thing I know, she's not breathing. And I'm like...
When you set her back in the bassinet, was it on her back, on her stomach?
It was on her side. Because I know how babies and humans can choke, you know. I'm not wanting her to throw up, and then...
Did you think she was going to get sick? Did she look sick?
That's what I'm saying. She was acting a little woozy, like... She was still moving.
Is that at the point you were videotaping her? When did you videotape her in this whole thing? With your phone?
Right after I called Ashley.
Okay. But she wasn't breathing. But she was moving in the video?
She was breathing, but not normal. You know, like
a shallow breath, maybe, or
like stomach breathing.
Okay.
You know, and I saw my son do that, and he had pneumonia. So, you know, in my head, I'm sitting there thinking, okay, maybe she has something in her stomach. So I'm just going like that to her stomach, and she coughed a little, but then nothing else. And I was like, okay, well, you know, let me step back from this. I don't know what to do. And I'm sitting there freaking out about it, and I'm sitting there holding her, you know, trying to think of something like, what else can I do? I don't know CPR like that, you know, for a baby. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit there and perform CPR and crush her ribs and all that jazz.
When you came out of the bathroom and you saw the baby on the floor with obvious signs of trauma, how long was it till you called mom? Just best you can remember, honestly. Just you know.
I'd say about 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So 20 minutes, then call mom. And then it took mom about
10 to 15.
10 to 15 to get home. And then how long after mom was home till we called 911?
She called 911 instantly.
Okay.
And I told her, I was like, you need to call 911. She's not breathing.
What did you, I mean, like, obviously she's inquiring what happened. What did you tell her happened? Or did you tell her what you saw?
Yeah, I told her what I saw and
what did you tell her?
What went down. I saw Callie standing in front of her and then her screaming, you know, like I didn't know how else to explain that.
Yeah. Did she say anything else to you? Okay. So you took the video right before you called mom?
Yeah, and she thought Charli was dead. I was like, no, she still has a pulse. She's still alive, but...
So when did you take the video? Did you take it right before you called mom or right after you called mom?
It was right after.
Okay. And what did you do with the video?
I showed the cops as soon as they got there.
What was the purpose of the video? I'm just curious.
Because I was wondering, you know, I was like, Charli, are you okay? Like, she was...
But why video? I'm just trying to...
I'm saying she wasn't acting right. Like, remember how I said she just turned to jello? She started, like, acting normal again. And then that's when I set her in the bassinet. After that 5 minutes I was sitting there holding her, like, coddling her. She started acting normal again. Jumping and getting all excited. So I set her back down, and she wasn't like that anymore.
So, and I'm not a mathematician, but from the time that you walk out and you see the baby on the floor with obvious signs of trauma, it's about 40 minutes till 911's called?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why so long? And I'm not trying to come down, okay? I'm not...
In my head, I said, if I call 911, she's going to end up losing her kids. So I'm going to call her. And then
Were you scared to call 911?
Yeah, because I didn't want her to lose her kids.
So, he is saying Callie is the one that injured the child with a toy. You're blaming a 2-year-old? Muppet. Police are now going to call his bluff by telling him, no, with the injuries, the child suffered, that did not happen. And just to clarify, Charli is the victim, 9-month-old. Kelly is the daughter of his girlfriend, 2-year-old. Ashley is the girlfriend who's currently at work.
Okay, I can tell just by your body language and everything, and that's what we do. I talk to people every day, okay? There's more to this, but for some reason, you're holding back. And I think it's because you feel like you have to stick to your story. But I'm telling you right now, the time is to get it out now. Because what's going to happen is there are medical professionals that will be able to look at Charli's injuries and tell me exactly what happened. Unfortunately, it's going to take some time to do that. The time to get, if it's an accident or something like that happened, okay, the time to get that out is now. Let's get in front of it.
It's going to come out.
Because what's going to happen, hear me out. I promise I'm going to let you talk. Just hear me out, okay? Because I feel more comfortable. There's definitely something more to the story, okay? There's something you're holding back. And what I'm trying to get through to you is it's got to come out now. Because if it comes out later, you may end up getting yourself in some trouble. All right, Matthew. I need to get a few more details, okay?
Okay, this would be the easiest.
Right, so
having
we
a
aren't like in imagination here. This is, if we say this is Charli, okay? If you can run us through what happened with everything you just told us, okay? As how you're holding her, what happens, all that, okay?
Okay.
And you can stand up if you
Arms
need.
aren't even like that.
Right.
Yeah, I was holding her like this, and then she started sagging because I was going this way,
Okay.
and then dropped. So I don't know if she landed on her shoulders or on her neck, on her head.
Can you drop the baby like she would drop?
Okay. Well,
I mean, it's not going to hurt that doll,
Yeah.
obviously.
okay, so Callie like that. So probably on her stomach/face.
So when you turned around, what did you see?
How was she positioned when you turned around?
And you can position
On
the
her
baby.
stomach.
Okay, can you put the
Or
baby on her stomach?
On her back. Mhm.
Can you stand up? So like you're holding the baby falls, and then you look over. Is that how you see the baby?
Well, the bassinet's right here. I don't even see the baby. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
So where is the baby?
It's in the bassinet.
Okay,
I just can't see her.
gotcha, because of the side. So let's just assume that this is a bassinet around the baby. At what point do you see the baby?
After I did Callie, I just grabbed the bag from her, threw it away, and then
Okay, and then
got her off the chair, walked back, and
okay.
made sure she was moving and stuff.
Okay. So when you dropped the baby in the bassinet, you didn't immediately go over the baby. You took care of Callie first.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then when you came over, can you show me how you picked the baby up and what you did after that?
After, like, the position?
Correct. So like if the baby is laying, so you told me you have the baby and the baby falls out of your arm because you're going that way.
Okay.
The baby falls into the bassinet. So you go over, you grab a bag from Callie.
Throw it away, take her off the chair.
Throw it away, take her off the chair. How long do you think that lasts?
Not even 5 seconds.
Okay. And then you go back over to baby.
Right.
Charli.
Grab her up real quick, flip her over, pick her up. And then she just was like a little,
What is the baby doing?
her head was just going back and she was dazed, but she was moving, you know, and then like, yeah, that's creepy, man. But, she was still moving, still kicking, still jumping and stuff, but
So at
just
first,
a little different.
the baby's head's back and the baby's eyes are rolling back. I know you were rolling your eyes.
Yeah, they were like rolling, and then she like kind of went, like stared at me like, hey, like just dazed.
Gotcha. What did she do after that?
She was perfectly fine. I just clothed her and put her back in.
And what injuries did you see on her then?
It was like right there.
Can you show me like on this, but this is a lot easier than us like pointing it there. Can you show me what injuries you saw?
It was like a mark on top of her head and a little back here, and then on her arm, like somewhere over there.
Okay. Were there any other marks on her?
Well, yeah, there's tons of marks on her.
I mean, that weren't on her previously.
No.
Okay.
No, that's all.
Do you know what marks were on her totally, all around? I know you said there was
I
a
mean,
mark
yeah,
on the top, on the
Oh,
side.
dude, there's this bruised head. I mean, I know one side, I don't remember which one. It was just really dark in that spot. And then she had like little scratches around her neck and under her arms and her ears, her nose, little scrapes everywhere.
And the baby went to the doctor on Monday, right?
Yes, sir.
Where did she go to the doctor at? You know?
I just go.
Okay. Was it here in Clay County though?
Yes.
Local? You went though to the appointment?
Yeah.
Did you go in or did you stay out in the car or something?
Yeah, I was there.
You were there?
I was there. I went.
So basically what we're getting at is any injuries she may have had on Monday will be documented with that physician. That's what they do when they see stuff like that. But here's my thing too. If there was visible injuries like you were describing, like with the big bruises and all that, they're required to report the possibilities of abuse.
Me and Ashley were mentioning that the other night. We were saying, wonder why they didn't.
Yeah. So my thing is maybe the injuries weren't there on Monday. If a doctor, they were definitely there. They would be documented there. Okay.
I mean, I don't know if they're documented, but they were there.
Well, they will be. It's their job. When they do a physical and they look everything over, they will mark. I mean, they're pretty detailed about it. They have to. And every experience I've dealt with, they do. So, and what I'm getting at with there is I don't want there to be any issues of Monday. There was hardly any injuries on her. And then, now we have all these.
From talking to the doctors, there's a bunch of bruises
That's what I
on
was
the
saying.
baby's head, but they're new.
They've been there.
Well, I mean, I know that there's some ones that are old, but some bruising that is more than just where you're describing. And like some bruising inside the ears.
Ears? I had no idea about that.
Like from some type of like blunt trauma.
I never noticed a bruise on their ear or anything.
So what we're getting at is there a possibility that there's a little bit more than just the fall? Because remember, like I told you, the injuries, we're going to get the truth. The evidence will show it. And so if what you're telling us is true, if she has multiple injuries that a doctor is telling us, hey, these occurred very recently. This isn't from a week ago. This isn't from days ago. Okay. This is very recent. Then obviously there had to have been something more than just a fall. We're just trying to explain, you're the only one that can tell us. If there was something more to it, I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth at the same time. But just so we're clear, there was nothing in the way when she fell. She went straight to the.
Everybody does realize I'm not the only one that is there alone with them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, remember what I told you?
That's what I'm saying.
We've asked Ashley.
Like, I leave all the time to go get cigarettes, to go do this and that.
Right.
Have you ever came back and there's unexplained injuries on the baby?
Yeah.
You would notice certain things. From the kid pulling the baby off the bed, we know that.
Well, I'm saying, like, Callie just walking up and smacking her. I've walked into that. Like, she just walks up and smacks her. Don't know why.
But not enough force to cause injuries that we're seeing is what we're saying.
She'll pick up a toy and throw it at her, though.
Well, I understand that, but.
And that does that will leave an injury. But what we're being told is that these injuries are not coming from the 2-year-old. The doctor has flat out told us there's no way. Okay. Some of these injuries, I think they can agree, most likely. But the ones we're talking about, no. And in fact, the ones you're describing, almost. So we just want to clarify if there's anything else. Has Ashley ever told you? Since you say you're not the only one, has Ashley ever told you that? Is there an incident that comes to mind recently? Because like I said, they're not telling us this happened days or a week ago. We're talking very recent. So is there any time that you walked out and here recently and came back and found any kind of mysterious injury? No. Okay. The other thing I want to clear up, when you were using the restroom and you come out and Callie's there. Okay. I think you even told us earlier that the bruising and all that was not from Callie, correct? Those were there. Those happened at during the fall.
The one in the forehead and the one on the side, that was Callie. And the marks on her throat and chest area.
That's Callie?
That was Callie.
Okay.
How would Callie do that?
I have no idea.
She didn't do that.
Well, maybe the baby was crawling or something. I don't know.
All I'm telling you is
Maybe
the
it
baby,
looked faded. I don't know.
the baby,
Maybe it was the lighting.
the,
I don't know.
the baby definitely didn't do those injuries, and especially not with the little pony. And I think that me and you agreed that that little pony couldn't cause, and the words that you used was blunt force trauma. Correct. So we know that baby does not have the strength at 2, even though I understand she's wild, bouncing off the walls, to cause the blunt force trauma with the mini pony. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what happened?
That's what I'm saying. I'm sticking to my story because that's what happened.
But you never saw Callie doing that to the baby.
What do you mean? Do any of the harm? No. I was in the bathroom.
How long were you in the bathroom?
About 5-10 minutes. And wiped, came out, saw her standing there. That's what I'm saying. It could have just been the lighting. Maybe
she wasn't actually injured. Is that what you're saying? It could have just been the lighting?
I mean, she had the bruise on the forehead. She had a little red mark, right? Well, it was like a bright red mark and then like a rose red mark on the side of it. That was definite.
Right.
I know that was definite.
But your words earlier too were there is no way Callie caused those with a pony in her hand.
Not with the pony.
Right.
So that girl's fast.
Well, yeah. Well, we gotta be realistic.
I'm saying though, she could throw it.
Yeah, but to throw it multiple times and make contact with the baby's head, I mean, you know what I'm saying, and you know, I'm not coming down on you, but I mean, I think that we both agree that that's highly unlikely, to almost impossible, and I think that we all three agreed earlier that the 2-year-old Callie definitely did not cause those injuries to Charli. You know, I wasn't there, I don't know everything, but I do know this, that Callie did not do that to Charli. And I think we all three are on the same page with that. Fair enough to say?
Okay.
So that's why we're trying to figure out what else happened.
Something
else
I don't know
happened.
what else happened.
I mean, but it's just you and just Callie in the room. And Callie didn't cause all those marks.
Okay. And I'm saying I didn't do anything to that little girl. Besides drop her in the bassinet.
And that's why we're trying to clarify all the injuries, all the marks.
I'm saying that the marks might be from me. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that's an honest answer.
Yes,
absolutely. I mean, that's a completely honest answer.
And that's all we're looking for, man. It's just honest answers.
Yeah. And because I don't want to play cat and mouse with you, like I told you. I believe in shooting people straight. Okay. The facts are this. The injuries that she has that you described, like he's told you, Callie could not have done it. That's being told to us by a medical professional. So if you and Callie are the only ones in the room, it doesn't take a rocket science to figure out where those injuries came from. Okay. Now, no one here is saying you woke up or you even got up with the intention to hurt a child. Okay. But a child did get hurt. So you as the adult, which you've done so far, you've come forward and you're telling us the truth about what happened. There's just a few little holes in it that we got to fill up. Okay.
So we're playing a puzzle. There's pieces. Right. We're just trying to put all the pieces together and make a picture, man.
And there's the injuries that we're seeing and that we're being told are inconsistent with just one fall, with just a fall. You kind of follow me? Okay. Now I'm not trying to put words in your mouth or anything like that. I just want to, like I told you from the get-go, we're going to have on Monday, she saw a doctor and we're going to review those files. and we're going to see what they document. Okay? Okay. You act like you got something to say.
No.
No? Okay. So we got Monday.
I mean, I'm sticking to my word, man. That's what I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, and y'all are thinking other stuff.
No. Well, okay. Put yourself in my shoes. Put yourself
I
in my shoes.
understand.
I'm telling you, hey, listen, I fucked up. And I accidentally dropped this girl. I care about her. It was not intentional and all that. Okay. But the injuries, you're being told by a doctor. Say this was your son. Okay. And it's your ex says, hey, I messed up and I dropped our son. But the doctor comes to you and says, no, that very well may have happened, but there's a little bit more to it. Okay, there's more injuries here than just one fall. That's where we're at. No one's trying to trick you. I'm not trying to get you to tell me a lie. I mean, I'm just going on what people are telling me.
I don't know where the injuries came from.
What do you think caused the dark bruise on the top of her head?
I don't know. Which bruise? That's what I'm saying, man. They're all over.
There's a large bruise on the top of her head that's a new bruise that probably is going to be around the time frame that you were in the. But that's what I'm saying. What happened? Because here's the thing: it was not a bassinet. It was not a bassinet that caused that mark.
Might have been the pull at the bottom from the pad, underneath the pad. Maybe it smoothed it out or something.
I mean, did you hear it hit a pole?
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't hear anything. I heard just flop.
What do you think caused the bruise? I mean, we're talking about a fresh, large injury on the baby's head.
That's what I'm saying. I could have dropped it on the bottle or.
So the bottle was in there?
Yeah, the bottle, plush toy, and a blanket.
But I mean, we agree that a plush toy and a blanket aren't going to cause it. And the plastic bottle, the type of bruise that it is not going to cause it. It's bruising and injuries on the baby's head that is consistent with some type of trauma.
Well, you might want to go ask Callie, because I don't know, man. I've been trying to tell you guys this. I don't know what else happened.
Well, I think we already got over the fact that we know that Callie doesn't have the strength and the ability to cause the type of injuries that were on that baby, period. It's like Callie's like not even on the table right now. I'm not denying the fact that she's wild. I'm not denying the fact that she bounces off the walls. I saw that. But the fact that Callie did not cause those injuries to the baby. Something else happened in that hotel room while the baby was in your care. That's what I'm telling you, man.
Okay.
And some of the things that you said are just not adding up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are saying me when I don't even know what the hell happened.
Well, no. We're not saying you.
Since day one, that girl had scratches on her head.
We're not asking you about scratches.
So I'm saying recently, she could have just been crawling around, smacked her head on something.
We're talking about trauma to the baby's head while the baby's in your care.
I mean, to be fair to you, I'm not talking
she
about. She could have
been crawling around, smacking her head on the ground.
You know what? We can.
And I can just stop talking too.
But I'm
trying to talk to you.
You're doing the right thing. You are 100% doing the right thing. Don't get frustrated with us, man. This is a serious thing. And I know it's serious.
That's why I'm sitting here like, why am I getting questioned about hurting some girl when I didn't even mean to?
Well, listen, we're not questioning you. That's fine. We're not as far as questioning you as far as hurting. Okay. We're questioning you on is exactly what you're telling us so far. Is that exactly what happened? And listen, I have every reason to believe you when we left the room. The only problem is when I went back there and they said, hey, listen, the doctor's saying there's a couple more issues with this. That's the only reason why I'm back in here. Is to try and get those things explained. Okay?
And I'm saying that girl has had bruises on her head, has had scratches since I've known her. No, she gets them every day.
And I believe you. I believe you 100% on that.
How am I supposed to know everything she runs into?
Well, and you're not. You're not going to know everything.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, let's be realistic. However, what they're describing isn't something that happened yesterday or the day before or a little scratch.
Yeah, doctors can make up whatever, man.
Why would they make it up? I mean, they don't know you. They don't know Charli. They don't know Ashley. Why would they?
They have estimates. They don't have exact. And I've come to find that out. Because I'm sitting here still in this room. I don't know what happened to her. I mean, she could have been crawling on the ground scratching herself. She could have punched herself in the face. She could have grabbed something, hit herself in the head with it. I mean, she's a baby. You know, like, what do babies do? They crawl around, grab stuff, eat stuff, throw stuff, hit themselves.
They can.
That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely,
like, I've
they
seen
can.
it. Like,
I can, but I mean, you just gotta understand why we gotta jump through all these hoops.
I don't understand why I have to be here for this. I mean, I understand you guys are questioning me, but at the same time,
well, let's just look at it from a different perspective here. Okay, the police and EMS get called because a baby is injured. The only person who's watching that baby is you, right?
yeah.
So, and that baby was injured in your care, in custody. The only person that can really tell us exactly what happened is you. That's why you're here. It's not for any other reason. I've talked to Ashley too, okay, and until I was blue in the face before I even came in here to talk to you, okay, because it's all the same stuff. It's just part of what we do. You got to understand. I mean, honestly, the main person I'm looking out for is Charli, and just making sure everything's okay.
That's what I'm saying. Right. How am I supposed to know what she gets into?
Well, if you're watching her, you're supposed to.
I got 2 kids to watch.
Right.
One of them runs around constantly, hitting everything.
Right. Including Charli.
Treating everybody like dirt, including the entire room.
Right. Well, no, dude, trust me. I can completely understand how this happened. I can completely understand, but the problem is I'm being told by one person, hey, listen, yeah, there may very well have been a fall, but it seems to be something a little bit more than that.
So, blunt trauma, how hard are they talking?
Oh,
Did like a truck hit her or something?
I can't answer that.
That's what I'm saying. If they don't even know and can't even tell me, how am I supposed to explain? Okay, well, this was because of this.
Well, I mean, let's be real.
They just say here and here and here. Like, they don't actually tell you, show you a picture and show you on a diagram, hey, this is what I'm talking about.
They have not showed me, no.
That's what I'm saying. They just point it out.
Now, very well, my partner, very well, who's at the hospital, yeah, maybe they are showing him, but I'm just telling you what I'm getting relayed. Mm-hmm. Okay. So they very well may be pointing out specific things. I mean, it is what it is. So sounds like they're getting an update. Let me go find out on that and see if I can speed up this whole process. Okay.
We got the videos off your phone. Can we just make sure we're talking about the same videos here real quick? You know which ones I'm talking about?
Here, the very bottom?
Yeah, alright. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, click it.
Hold on.
That.
Help us understand what's going through your mind.
That's what I saw. Right after the bathroom. See the red on the chest?
What? How long after you dropped the baby did you take the video?
I don't know, maybe 10 minutes. Because I was trying to make sure, she wasn't just like that. Just for a few minutes or whatever.
What's going through your mind here?
I was freaking out.
Why?
Like, she's not moving. She's barely hiccuping, it looked like,
Do you think you should have called 911 then?
Yeah.
Why didn't you?
Now, after seeing it, is it possible that when you went to pick her up that you had to actually try and get her to come to?
I didn't smack her once.
No, I'm not. What, you smacked her?
No, bow. Right. But tap tap tap.
Will you show me? Just so we're clear, I don't want there to be any issues.
Like this, just like, hey, wake up.
There was that. You didn't have to actually kind of.
No.
I mean, okay.
You think maybe you shook her trying to wake her up?
That's what I'm trying to understand is maybe, if she's not responsive and you're trying to make sure she's okay.
Because if someone comes back and says, hey, the baby's been shaken.
Mm-hmm.
Did that happen at all?
If it did, you
not
just tell
my
us, man.
No, I meant, did you have to shake her to wake her up or anything?
No.
Okay. You're 100% positive that in the stress of this whole situation, that there's no possibility whatsoever that you picked Charli up and shook her.
Mm-hmm.
At no point at all during the time you watched her did you pick her up and shake her. Did you have to bounce her?
Yeah, I bounce her, but that's normal.
Okay. But nothing.
That's every time I pick her up.
Okay. So when you picked her up, she was awake.
I mean, you can ask Ashley. I grab her by the arms and I even throw her up in the air, and she loves it.
Well, yeah. I'm just talking about, because in my opinion, if I was in a situation like that, I would have to resist from having, if someone's unconscious, or like a baby or something, I'm trying to get them to wake up. That just seems like an explanation that I could see. But if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. I just wanted to clarify that there's just no chance whatsoever that's what took place. Okay.
I believe that you lost your cool. I don't think you purposely hurt the baby. I'll be honest with you. I think that you and I both know that autopsy is going to come back and it's going to show something else and whatever you told me. You know that. You know that. I know that. We're sitting here playing word games. You and I both know that. I'm being straight up with you. I want to give you the opportunity so bad. I'm trying. I'm laying it down for you. I'm literally putting it in front of you. It's like, I don't know what I got to do to get it through to you that you understand that the investigation is going to reveal things. You understand it's going to be there.
Okay.
You understand exactly what you said, that you blacked out and you could have hurt the baby. What did you just say?
Blacked out and I could have hurt the baby.
You blacked out and you could have hurt the baby. That's what happened.
I black out quite a bit.
You blacked out, you hurt the baby. Right?
I won't say them exact words.
Then tell me.
That's what I'm saying.
Tell me your words. I want to hear Matt. I want to hear the truth. That's all I'm asking.
There's a possibility that I blacked out.
And did what?
And hurt the baby.
How? Because you understand it's going
by shaking it or something.
By shaking the baby, man. You can tell me, bro. You got aggravated. You shook the baby. You freaked out. You didn't purposely want to shake the baby. Did you? I mean,
no.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you woke up and you did want to shake the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the two people. You're the guy that wakes up and says, you know what, I'm going to shake a baby. I don't give a shit. Or you're a guy that has a lot of shit on his plate. You're worn out. You've been through a lot of shit. You're taken out to California. You're put on the street. You come back. You're trying to do the best you can, bro. It's a baby.
No.
It's a 9-month-old baby that's now dead.
And I gotta tell my family that now.
And I'm going to leave that up to you. Matt, why did you shake the baby?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even remember doing it if I did.
You just told me you shook the baby, man.
No, I said there's a possibility I blacked out and shook the baby. I'm not ever going to say I shook the baby. I did not.
You did. What you're telling me is you're never going to fully tell the truth. I don't believe that. I think you are going to tell the truth. I think you're going to be honest with everybody eventually. You at least owe it to the baby.
That's what I'm saying. I know I hurt her, but I didn't know if I did more.
There's nobody else in the room. I don't know when he's coming back. Tell me the truth. That's all I'm asking. I'm begging you.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I blacked out.
And what happened? What happened when you woke up?
She was just there.
Where at?
In my arms.
Was she unconscious?
No.
So you're at the house, you wake up and the baby's in your arms. Like how? Show me.
Well, she was like...
That's Charli.
Yeah.
That is a 9-month-old baby.
Yep. Like that.
So you wake up and the baby's in your arms.
Oh, like this? What do you mean, like wake up in the morning?
You said you thought you blacked out.
Yeah. Well, I was just standing there looking at the ground more likely.
And when you come to, where's the baby?
It's right here.
In your arms. And what are you doing?
Maybe touching, trying to figure out
what's wrong with the baby. What's the baby doing?
What's wrong with the baby?
What is the baby doing when you have the baby in your arms?
She was just sitting there looking around.
She look like that?
No. Eyes were a little bit more dim and closed.
This is how you could shake a baby. That's how you shake a baby. Man, you gotta be honest with me. You know you remember shaking that baby. You know I know that. You know that. We both know that.
I didn't.
You did, man.
If I did, I would remember every single thing.
What do you remember about the baby getting hurt? Minus the whole crib drop thing.
I was trying to wake her up.
Where was she at?
Chilling. In my arms, chilling.
Why were you trying to wake her up?
She was acting weird.
So, but why would you shake her?
As I'm saying, I had to have blacked out because I don't remember shaking her.
You think you could have lost your cool and blacked out because the baby's crying and you've had enough? Not that you're mad at a 9-month-old baby because you got everything on your plate. Because you got 2 kids running around.
Maybe.
Maybe? I think it did. Not maybe, man. I think that's exactly what happened. But I want to know the truth from you. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to this baby. You owe it to everybody. To be honest. You lost your cool.
So that's the end of the police interview. Let me read out to you what actually happened. Prior to the death, reports revealed that Charli had fallen off a couch 3 days prior and hit her head. Reports said Charli had at least 10 bruises and marks on her body at the time of her death. Her brain was bleeding. This did not happen because a toy made an impact with her head. It also wasn't just an accidental drop onto the pack and play as he suggested. What actually happened is, for whatever reason the baby was crying, he grabbed the baby and he shook the baby to death, smacked her on the floor, etc., etc. This was a deliberate act that he tried to blame on the 2-year-old. So, when he called 911, the baby goes to hospital. Later, the baby dies. But it wasn't until 6 months or so after his arrest did the police charge him. He pleaded guilty and he was sentenced to 22 years in prison.